All right, so we're going to finish up the example problems for 4.5. All right, so let's jump right into this with joint variation, okay? The variable y varies jointly as x and z, and y equals negative 108 when x equals negative 4 and z equals 3, okay? We need to find the constant variation. Now, it says jointly. You guys remember that jointly, okay, refers to y equals kxz, right? So we know that our equation here, we need to plug in the following values. We know that y equals negative 108, x equals negative 4, and z equals 3, okay? So if we plug those values in, we should get negative 108 equals k times negative 4 times 3, okay? Which simplifies to negative 108 k, oops, sorry, forgot the equal sign there. Okay, forgot the equal sign. Hold on. All right. So it'd be equals negative 12k. We divide by negative 12 on both sides. That's a negative 12 down there. Apologies. I'm going to rewrite that so it's a little clearer.
Is that y equals k times z?
Yes. And that negative 12, which give me k equals 9. All right, and there's your answer for the first one. So that's the first part, or at least number 1 to number 9. Okay, and then we write the equation that represents this relationship. Okay, straightforward enough. We take that equation from up here and we rewrite it, and then we just plug in what k equaled. And we get y equals positive 9 xz. Sorry, that's an x there. Okay. Where? This is k times negative 4 times 3. Okay.
Inside of the parentheses, what is that symbolize the 4?
That is a negative 4. Okay. So from there, we then take this equation and use it to plug into these values. Okay. So we're going to have y equals 9 times 6 times negative 2. We do that. We get 9 times negative 12, which gets me back to negative 108. Okay, there we go. And that's joint variation as far as an example is concerned. Again, the wording is what really you need to pay attention to. When it says varies jointly, you need to think of this equation, all right? That will tell you where you need to go calculation-wise. All right, any questions on that one? All right. All right, so next up is combined variation. All right, here's the example for this. Now, again, combined variation, when it says the variables y varies jointly, be careful here, as x and z are inversely with w. So remember, you need to see jointly and inversely or jointly and direct. Then you can use the combined variations equation, which is y equals kxz all over w. Okay? Usually they'll also use the letter W as a dead giveaway, but don't always go at that fact. Okay? Be careful. They can use different letters in these equations. Usually they won't, but sometimes they will. I won't. All right? So we plug in what we know. We've got 3 equal to k times 3 times negative 2 all over negative 4. If we simplify that, we get 3 equals 3 halves k. Okay? So then you have we have option here. We're going to divide both sides by the fraction. These cancel. Number divided by a fraction means same, change, flip. So that's going to become 3 times 2/3 equals k. The 3's will cancel. So what you're left with is k equals 2. That is a 3.
No. That's a 3.
That's a 3. I crossed that out with the other one. Fractions got crossed out. Okay? The equation represents that relationship would be y equals 2xz over w. We then take that and we plug in the numbers down here to figure out what y would be. So y equals 2 times 6 times 7 all over, and that is a 7 there. Sorry to make it look like a z. I didn't mean to. -4. Okay. So we get 2 times 42 over -4, which simplifies down to -21. Okay. The last thing we're going to talk about is application. Now, we're not going to go into calculating any of these because we don't have any numbers, but realistically what this is to do is just get used to the language of what's going on, okay? Because word problems are going to be worded like this. They'll say this sentence first, and they'll give you numbers after that sentence, okay? So this is just the first sentence of a word problem, basically. And all you need to do is identify how each one directly, inversely, or jointly relates to each other, okay? So the first one we have, the number of dollars you make varies blank with the number of hours you work. Dollars, okay, so we're making dollars, so it's going to increase, and the number of hours you work, which means we work more hours. Since both are increasing, that means it has to be directly. Okay, if you remember from our notes from the last vid, this column right here, in terms of words, will be your best friend. Okay? The temperature in your house varies blank with the amount of time the air conditioning is running. So the temperature in your house goes down, usually by how long you run the AC unit, which is how long it takes. That means that since they're opposite arrows, they are inversely. Okay. The length inside of a square varies blank with the perimeter of the square. Okay. So as long as the length inside of the square, yes, if we increase that, and the perimeter also then increases, which means it's direct. Okay. Your GPA may vary blank with the number of hours you watch TV. If you watch a lot of TV, it means your GPA is probably going to go down. I don't know, a lot of people don't watch TV anymore. They probably should have put YouTube here or something like that, or TikTok or whatever. Gross. But you get my point. Okay. Okay. And finally, the area of a triangle varies blank with its base and height. So the area, y, base is x, and height is z. Jointly, because there are 3 variables going on. So the dead giveaway why one is jointly is they'll have 3 parts. Notice every single one of these is a duo, except for the last one. Yes. Okay, hopefully you found that helpful. And make sure you do your classwork.